All you got to do is press that button and go live, Kel. Way, yes. Not gonna lie, I was panicking.
Me too. Me too. I think I've just knocked your mum off. I think she just called me to try and say, "Where are you?"
I was
I'm
saying,
like, I got to knock her off. I got to knock her off. I think I'm doing it right. You can't talk to me now, Carol, please.
I was like, because I didn't see you come up, I was like, maybe mum. I was like, give a shout to my mum. I was like, mum, maybe ring Kelly and tell her how to do it.
I apologise to her for knocking her off, but I've done it. I'm not that good with technology, as you know, and I was messaging you earlier for saying, please help me. I don't do Instagram Live. I don't barely do Instagram, so here I am finally. Thank you.
Yay! Well, thank you for coming on. Like I said, I was just, before we connected, I was saying the amount of requests and everything that I had to get you on, because I think every time I've done a live with former Lionesses players like Lucy, Leah, Jordan, Jill, Fran, everyone mentions you in their live. So everyone was saying it'd be nice to get Kelly on. So thank you for coming on. Thank
and
you.
thank
How's
you for
lockdown?
them speaking nicely of me. That's very nice.
Always, always. How's the family? How's lockdown?
I'm not gonna lie, the last few days have been difficult. The first 2 weeks were amazing because it was just getting to know everybody, and obviously Rocco's now nearly 3, so sometimes, you know, he's been going to nursery and then all of a sudden it stopped. So I'm the sole carer at home. Deanna's obviously working, so it's been full on for me having both of them all day, every day. But it's great because, you know, it's enjoyable. I'm kind of running out of things to do with them, if I'm honest. There's only so much tag you can play in the garden, going down the slide, going in the playhouse, playing with trains, playing with cars, doing puzzles, painting, doing paper mache. I'm kind of running out of ideas. So if there's any mums out there or dads that have ideas of how to keep a 3-year-old occupied, please send them my way.
Wait, but we did see on Instagram the other day that Rocco was playing football. Well, they both were.
I was trying to get Lucia to kick the ball. Obviously, she's just 8 months, but her legs were really, really going, like trying to kick the ball. She was loving it. She was screaming. But Rocco's into it in a kind of way. I've got him into a little kickers session, which is a football session for toddlers.
Okay.
Obviously, that's stopped now. So we're trying to do the lessons online. But he just really wants to pick the ball up and run with it, or just run through cones. And he's not really interested in the ball that much. But maybe that'll come later on in life.
A lefty or a righty?
It's definitely a lefty, which I'm really happy about.
Oh my gosh.
I've been waiting and looking and paying attention, and he's definitely a lefty. So that's good. Music to my ears.
Lefty, always the talented ones. And do we have maybe a potential lioness in the future?
Hopefully. Yeah, I've got so many different balls in the house. A tennis ball, ping pong ball, proper football, different size footballs, just to get them, you know, looking at them and maybe kicking them or picking them up. So yeah, that's the plan. And but if they don't, that's fine too.
I was thinking the other day, just so funny, because when I was speaking to you about exercise, and I so forgot, like, because me and my glass ankles, and what did you say? You was like, I tried to do exercise the other day.
I laughed when I got your message because I'm like, I know that feeling. Well, I'm nearly, I think I'm, what one now? 41. So, yeah, I mean, I don't go out and run too much, but I actually tried to run the other day just to get out and clear my head, because being in this house with these 2 children is sometimes very difficult, screaming, shouting, running about. So I'm like, right, I'll get my running gear on, put my leggings on, put my top on, sports bra back on, I can do this. And I felt in my mind I could do it. And 3 minutes down the road, my left IT band just tightened up, and I'm like, oh God, this isn't good. I'm like, all right, I was trying to stretch it out, couldn't stretch it out, and I just walked right back home. That was it. My workout's done. Yeah.
Oh my
but how are your ankles then? Like, you literally can't run anymore?
Yeah, well, the thing is, like how you just said, the first couple of weeks I was like, oh, this is great, I'll get into a routine, lovely, running every day for my exercise. And like, as of last week, I can just about walk around my house. But then, do you know what? The last 2 days I've been walking, but then I felt antsy, like I've not done enough exercise.
Yeah.
So today, stupid, went and did hill sprints, and now I can't walk. So I'm like, why do I do it? Why do I even do it?
But it's all right when you're doing it during the time, you're in the motion, but then right after, you're struggling.
Yeah. But wait, were you not in training? Because you were going to do Soccer Aid this year.
Well, since this lockdown period, I've kind of taken advantage of eating and drinking too much. the biscuits, the crisps. I'm not gonna lie, probably like, is this put a few pounds on me? I feel like I have.
We all have. I can't stop going to the biscuit cupboard.
Well, my chocolate, if Rocco got loads of Easter eggs, they've all gone because I've eaten them. He hasn't had a chance to get in the cupboard. So I was saying to Deanna, like, you either go one way, you're either workout holic now, a workout holic, where you're just doing it all the time, you're going to lose weight or you're going to get fat. And I'm on the fat side now because I can't literally work out.
Wait, I want to ask everyone tuning in, because that is a good question, because that's the thing. The first couple of weeks, everyone's doing these workout videos online. Joe Wicks has obviously been great every single day, but has it got to a stage with people tuning in where you're just like, come on now, I can't do it anymore?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I haven't even tuned into the workouts because I don't get time. But going back to Soccer Aid, I'm devastated because obviously we have no football now. So Soccer Aid has been pushed back till we don't have a date yet. I think that will be announced once we're out of lockdown. So it'll be probably winter time. But obviously Casey and I are going to be the females and Liv Cook representing the female side of it. So, you know, if it gets to go ahead, hopefully it will. It'll be an amazing occasion to play at Old Trafford. I never got a chance to do that as a professional. Did you play there?
No, I didn't play Old Trafford.
No,
actually, I did like a game at the end of the season with like an appearance, but that wasn't like playing in front of a crowd or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll happen. It'll be great, you know, to raise so much money for such a great cause. Playing in front of 75, 80,000, however Manchester United holds, and just to put the boots back on again. But I literally have to sort my body out before that happens.
Because that will be your like first big kind of game. You played in a Legends game for UEFA, haven't you?
Yeah, that was an experience, really good. I was on the field with Ronaldinho, Rio Ferdinand, Robbie Keane, Figo, Raul. I was just like pinching myself saying, is this really happening? But it was an amazing experience. And I think it will be similar to Soccer Aid. Obviously there's other celebrities that are there that are not former professional players, but just to grace the Old Trafford turf would be amazing.
Let's talk about your retirement. Actually, you retired from England 2015, and 2 years later for Arsenal. But in terms of, do you miss anything about it?
I miss the banter with the team and in the dressing room and seeing everyone on a day-to-day basis. I don't really miss the training and how my body used to feel getting up in the morning. I know you can understand that. It was very difficult towards the end, and you know, some days I couldn't actually train on the grass because I had to be in the gym, strengthening my quads and my hamstrings because my knee was so weak and my ankle from the injury that I had on my ankle. So it kind of got a bit mundane, and I kind of was like ready to hang up the boots, and I knew I probably wasn't playing as much as I'd liked. And then you just know when to hang up the boots. Everyone knows at some point the time is coming to an end. Professional footballers' career is so short, but you just have to live every moment and enjoy it and reap all the benefits from it.
Who was the first person you told that, no, I'm done, I'm ready to retire?
Myself. Obviously Deanna, and then my family. And I kind of knew it midway through the last part of the season. Pedro Martinez was the coach then, and I wasn't playing as much as I would have liked to, and that was frustrating me. I was coming on for sub appearances, and you know, being a top player like myself and you want to be playing and you think you should be playing, but he was the new manager. He was coming in and he was making decisions, and you just have to accept that. And then obviously I think the last game was against Doncaster Bells, and I scored from outside the box. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what, that's it. I'm happy with that. Lucky that I got to play in that game because that was the last game of the season. I managed to score, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm done now.
Like, I remember that game. It was a typical Kelly moment. Just like you just picking up the ball and like, is she going to shoot from there? Yep, it's a goal. And just all of us just celebrating. But in terms of actually thinking about England as well, how was that decision to retire from England?
Well, obviously Mark Sampson come on board, and obviously we'd played under Hope for the majority of my career, and sorry, it's just gone wonky. And he come in, he had different ideas. Again, I didn't know if I would play. under him. I picked up an injury. I thought I'd done my ACL again in camp. Unfortunately, I didn't. I just never felt that I would get the right time. And being an older player, senior player, I have to admit, I wasn't happy to sit on the bench. And I thought a lot of the younger kids coming through were really hungry and, really wanting to play. And I just thought, I guess the time is right now. And, the 2015 World Cup where you won the bronze, I retired just before that.
Yeah.
But just before that, I picked up that ankle injury. So I wouldn't have played in the World Cup anyway, even if I would have made that decision to stay on. So it just felt right at that time. I don't know, I can't really say it. It just felt right. It smelt right, everything. I just had to pull myself away. Plus, that gave me an extra year playing for Arsenal, which allowed me then to concentrate on my club career. And then we won the FA Cup at Wembley, which was really dear to myself and you and all the Arsenal players beating Chelsea in that game.
Do you know what? When people talk about highlights and everything, and it's like, I feel so lucky because we experience so much. But I actually always say that for me was that moment, winning that FA Cup at Wembley and walking those stairs, because we never.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, like in an Arsenal shirt, like your home team. I don't know, like how you just said, you've got goosebumps. Like, explain that moment to everyone tuning in, like walking up those stairs.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was the fact that it was a great season. And it just sensed that we could just smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, you seeing your family there, your friends, all the fans stayed behind. It was just a surreal experience. And, we've never ever got to do that as a professional footballer. I think it was the second or maybe potentially second or third game that the women's game had been held at Wembley.
Yeah. You know what, Kel? One minute, because I think like it's gone all blurry. Like we can't actually even see you. Can you see like the comments coming up and everything? Yeah, like I can hear you, but it's like literally you're just like a blur.
What should I do?
Wait, 1 minute. Is the sound gone completely, or you can't hear Kelly? I think Kelly.
I can hear you. I can see you.
All right, maybe like press the X and then I'll reconnect to you and then see if it comes back up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can see you now. Whoop whoop. Okay, so wait, where were we? We were speaking about the feeling of playing at Wembley. Let me ask you about playing for England as well, because I know how special that was to you. Do you know what? For me, I found out, wait, you have to tell me if this is true, because obviously, like, I played with Arsenal and Boston and everything, so I feel like I kind of know a lot. But was it true that you got picked to go to the World Cup in 1995, but you couldn't go because you were doing your GCSE?
Yeah. Yeah, I was picked. I could have gone, but it was such an intimidating moment for me because school was such a big thing. My parents said I needed a good education because women's football at that point was, obsolete. It was nothing. No one had heard of it. So I kind of turned it down because I needed to get my GCSEs, and I wasn't the smartest of children and loved school that much that I was like, okay, I won't go. I'm that young. Hopefully there'll be opportunities in the future. But yeah, I did that. That is a true story.
When I read that, I was like, well, there you go. That is something I never, ever knew. But it makes sense, though, because in 2007, you finally got to play in your first World Cup.
Yeah, and that was unreal to play in China, in packed stadiums, walking out, first game. It was unreal. It was just goosebumps, and a surreal experience. My dad was there, my cousin was there. It was just unreal. Really fun times.
You know, when I said to Zem, who does my images for me, about
Who?
Spotty Talks, Zem,
Oh,
she's this girl, Zem Clark, and she's doing all the things. I was like, Zem, you have to use the photo of Kelly kissing her boot because it's iconic. And then so for me, thinking about, let's tell everyone about that moment, because you actually, as a player, you did a lot of visualization, right? And so
yeah.
you, the night before, had visualized you scoring.
Yeah, Misha Jervis, our sports psychologist for England at the time, we'd done a lot of visualization techniques. So for some people it works, some people it doesn't. For me, it did work. And, you know, it's all about being focused and closing your eyes, and you can be anywhere that's comfortable. For me, it was comfortable in our bedroom I shared with Faye White. So I'd lay on my bed before the game of a night time, I just close my eyes and I'd just visualize myself moving across the pitch. I'd smell the grass, I'd sense the stadium was full, I'd hear the crowd, I'd just hear the ball touching my boot. I'd make my first pass, it would always be a good one. So everything was always positive, nothing negative. And I just felt my heartbeat, I felt my running really fast, just all good stuff that could happen during the game, and obviously scoring a goal. And then I just thought to myself, do you know what? If I score a goal, I'm going to take my boot off, because people take their shirts off. People, I don't know, no one's taking their shorts off yet, but that is probably a good thing to do. But yeah, just taking their shirts off. I just thought, do you know what? I take my boot off and just, I don't know what I'll do, but that just come into my mind. And then obviously I scored the 2 goals against Argentina, and the first boot, I don't know why, but I just decided to kiss it. It was just the emotion, the elation that come over me from scoring the goal. And then the other boot come off and I kissed that again, and it was just it all come from there. So it's just a roll-on, knock-on effect. But I got in trouble for that too.
Yeah. I hope Howard said you just brought a load of attention to yourself, more attention that you didn't need. But then as a player, not that you liked it, but you know, that made you, like, you loved those moments, you loved playing in the big occasions.
Sorry, I lost you a bit there.
I was just saying, because like in terms of like Hope saying that, but as the player you were, like, you loved playing in those big occasions. No, no. Internet.
Can't hear you.
Oh, there it is. You're back. All good? Oh no. Kelly, move around a bit. You're telling me we have a lioness.
You paused. You
good? Is that
you
better?
paused for a while, and it was just like that. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I can see you now. You're not blurry, but hopefully that's better.
Is it my internet? It must be bad.
Yeah, because I think you were blurry.
How bad are my roots? How bad are my roots? This lockdown is killing me. I'm a fake blonde at best, but Jesus, I need to sit further away. This is awful.
What with roots? What with chocolate and biscuits and drinks?
Oh. Crazy,
wait, we were
reminiscing.
We were taking it back about you playing in those big occasions. Like, that's what you loved doing.
Yeah, the big games were what excited me the most, whether it was a cup final, semi-final. It's something that just came alive and just took hold of the game somehow and just made things happen. And I think my teammates respected me for that, because I led by example, and I just put my body on the line in situations just to make tackles and create and just show hunger and passion in my trying to win games. And I think I led, and my teammates kind of jumped on that, and that's, you know, some of the reason why we were successful at Arsenal.
But Kel, do you think sometimes you put too much pressure on yourself?
Probably in my playing career, probably I did, because I don't know, yeah.
Because I remember, do you know what, when I was thinking earlier, I remember a game, that was the Japan game, we scored 2 goals, but Argentina, we were winning by half time. But I remember, actually, Farah's come on the line, yes, Faz, because I remember coming in at half time, and Farah, like, normally at half time, my thing, what I did, I'd go and sit in the toilet. I didn't even need a toilet, but it'd be my moment of peace, because you know how like the changing room is at half time. You can have like loads of different groups, there's loads of noise, everyone talking, and I always just needed a moment to myself to like breathe and just calm down. And I remember Farah coming to say, ow, you need to speak to Kelly. And I was like, why, what's wrong with Kel? She's like, she's being sick. And I remember then coming out, and Kel, you were like shaking and you were being sick. But then we all couldn't understand. It's like, because we were going through, we were winning the game comfortably.
I know, that's good that you brought that up right now. I remember that because you know why? I took too many caffeine tablets before the game. Remember, Dawn Scott used to hand out the caffeine tablets.
Yeah.
So I was like that. And obviously coming off after half time, obviously we were winning quite comfortably, but I was just shaking so bad because I wanted it so bad. Obviously, you never know in football, it could go either way.
Yeah.
But I remember being sick. I remember telling Misha, I'm like this, I can't control myself. Eventually I did, and we went out and we played, but it was just like something shifted in my brain that wasn't right that game.
I remember coming out, but then the thing is, like how you do, you went out the second half and I think you scored a goal anyway. So it's like, did that just happen? And now she's out here scoring a goal.
Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted your toilet break, by the way.
Luckily, I wasn't actually going to the toilet. It was just like my moment of peace. But in terms of you as a player, I suppose let's talk about that, because you did have that fiery side. Did you ever feel yourself go into that zone?
Yeah, a number of times I tried to. Well, I lost my head. I got into fights, not fights, but pushes or shoves or bad tackles. A red mist would come over me where I just had enough. I was just wanting to win so bad, or something would go in my head, or somebody would do something on the pitch that I didn't like. There's parts of my career that I regret, where obviously the UEFA Cup final, I missed that due to getting sent off for two yellow cards and then a red, obviously.
Yeah. Oh wait, but you have to give
sticking my fingers up.
That story, Kel, because some people don't know. So you got 2 yellows, and then got a red card.
Yeah.
But as you were walking off, what?
Well, I was upset that the Swedish referee, Jenny, who we become good friends with and knew from many games, I didn't feel like it should have been a red card. So that was irritating me. So as I'm walking off, I'm so mad. You know, in the Champions League, UEFA Cup game, and got sent off, and I stuck 2 fingers up to the crowd because they were jeering me. And we don't get that. We didn't have a play in front of a lot of people at that time, so they were saying stuff to me, and I just kicked the dugout chair. And then the 4th official reported me for bad behaviour, so that added an extra game to my ban, which made me miss the UEFA Cup final, the biggest game in Arsenal's history. Devastation.
Yeah.
And that's an example of losing my head.
But the thing is with me, like I was laughing earlier when I was like trying to recall all the memories, because in terms of when you were going into that miss, I think us, like your teammates, could see you going. And Farah on the line, she is like the main one that would be like, Alex, sort her out, sort her out.
There's 4 people. You understood me. Kaz Carney would see it, and she'd be like, pull me aside and grab me round the waist and be like, Kelly, we need you. Farah and Faye White, all 4 of you kind of saw it, where I was kind of like losing it a little bit, and you're like, right, pull me aside or just be like that. And then I'm like, okay, calm down. All right, I'm back in the game now.
Yeah, but there's only like certain things like we could do would be like, Kelly, we need you. Kelly, don't do it. Or,
and that helped.
Did it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I was gone.
But do you think you needed that? Because when we talk about men's football as well, like players, like Wayne Rooney has that fiery side, and you can't take it away from players.
Sorry, I'm just reading a comment. It said similar to DVD, Daniela Van Donk. She's got that. She loses it too, because I don't know. It just must be something in your personality that you're so hungry to win and so want to create so much that when something happens, it gets you.
Yeah. And
I can relate to Daniela Van der Donk because I see it in her too. And I've played with her and I've experienced it too. And do you know what? She was another player that had my back in the Arsenal, because she'd see me get angry and then she'd pull me aside. Or if I saw her get feisty, I'd be like, hey, calm down.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've just remembered another moment as well.
No.
It was actually 2005. You've only just come back from America. So I think it was what, our first tournament. There's two stories from 2005. That first game, do you remember Hope had a go at you because you were roaring at me on the pitch or something? And she was like, you can't talk, you can't shout at her like that. But I was like, I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, but she can. I was thinking she can take it. She's not one of those players that you say something to and they get upset and then they go out of the game. I'm like, she's fine.
And the second one against Sweden, Kel, I remember they had a free kick or something.
Don't say this, it's embarrassing.
No, I need to say it from my side how I viewed it. So we're like lining up or something. They had a free kick, and I remember seeing you pull this girl's pigtails, and like me, I was in total shock. I was like, like looking around to see who could see it, and I saw Faye, and I was like, Faye, she's just pulled her hair. And Faye was like, what are you talking about? I was like, Kelly's pulled her hair. Yeah. But no one saw it. And I think I clocked you and you just had this smirk on your face like, yeah, I just did do that.
Yeah, and I was, you know why? Because I was so mad because obviously I'd broken my navicular, what was it on? In the top of my foot just before that tournament. So it was well documented that my left foot was injured coming into the tournament. So this girl, I don't know her name, trod on it right on that place, like trod on it. And I was like, oh my word, that is not right from the corner. So my instinct, nastiness, come through, yanked her hair. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, Kelly, you can't do that. I'm like that. And then afterwards, it's like a sinking feeling that just happens and you're just like, that is not cool. But in the moment, you just lose yourself.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I regret it. It was naughty. You should never do that if you're a young kid that's still up at this time. Do not pull a young girl's hair in a football game. It's naughty.
Well, there's more cameras and everything now.
Exactly. You can't get away with it. You'll be off. Yeah.
In terms of your England career, what was your best moment?
Best moment. Obviously, I didn't win anything with England because we weren't good enough at that point in time.
We got to the final though.
Yeah, we got a silver medal in the Euros. That was probably a proud moment, but I think probably the proudest moment was just qualifying for a World Cup because I played on the national team for over 10 years with the likes of Faye White, Rachel Brown, Mary Phillip, a load of players, and we just been qualifying and just being so close to getting there and to play in China in front of all those crowds, big crowds against America and Germany on the biggest stage was just unreal. Yeah. But yeah, I think 2009 final against Germany, we lost 6-2. But to get there, all right, yeah.
Just even sounding out that scoreline, there was more to the game. If you just tune in, there was more to the game.
Yeah,
we were in
exactly.
It for however long.
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest, moment.
Okay. Oh wait, actually, we need to talk about obviously America because there was your first stint in America. Do you look back at that with like mixed emotions?
Proud emotions because I was the first female player, English player to play out there, played for Philadelphia. But then I picked up so many injuries over there that really disappointed me and really upset me about being out there. My dream was to be a professional footballer in the United States, and I managed to do that, but not at the heights that I wanted to reach.
Yeah. I remember, actually, it's so weird. We had a trip. I was still in the Arsenal youth team, and we had a trip to play in the San Diego Surf Cup or wherever it was. And I actually remember Claire Wheatley at the time. We were in the hotel, and she went off to watch your game because you were in town.
Right.
Like, how crazy at that time because you just started playing for them.
Yeah.
But wait, in terms of playing there, because I remember reading earlier from that first stint that because you suffered those injuries, you felt like you'd lost your identity, like you pulled yourself away from the team.
Yeah, they were really hard times because, I lived for football, breathed for football. Football was my life during those times. And when that was taken away from me, I didn't know who I was anymore. I really struggled in day-to-day stuff because I didn't have anything to talk about because I wasn't playing football. I was in an apartment by myself out in New Jersey at the time, and I just really pulled myself away from the team and didn't know how to cope with it. I was on crutches. I was relying on lifts from people because I couldn't drive. You know, I was just really struggling day-to-day stuff, having a shower, having a bath, making a cup of tea, away from my friends and family. I was quite an introvert back then too, and I wasn't asking for help. And that's part of where my troubles kind of happened. It's been well documented that, you know, I had an alcohol problem during those times. But yeah, I think, you know, I've obviously learned from those times, and
I
yeah,
was going to say
it's
that. Do you
hard.
think from what you went through the first time, so then when you went back and played for the Breakers, it was like a totally different experience because you had more tools and
Yeah.
stuff to your armour?
Yeah, that's exactly true. I was a little bit older too, more experience in life, and had coping mechanisms and more friends and a support network in place that if I did pick up an injury, I could lean on those people or have those tools to deal with. Whereas when I was like 19, 20, my first stint, I didn't have that, like you said, in my armory. So yeah, I had more experience, more life experience. I knew myself a little bit better. I was a little bit more confident as a person. So yeah, it certainly helped me, and I enjoyed it more the second time around, mainly because I had you out there too,
Yeah.
playing, and it was just the sun was shining. It was professional life. It was
I loved Boston. Do you know
yeah.
what I always say as well? I struggled, I would say, for over a year to adjust into life back in England.
You think?
Yeah, because I just think we were professional. Like the
Mm,
crowds, just the tempo, the standard of football, the who we were playing against the best players week in, week out. And I think coming back to an English league that was still trying to develop
yeah,
and it just wasn't there. So I think in terms of just the lifestyle, the standard, it took me so long to adjust back to life.
yeah. I
I
can relate to that.
Yeah, I just think in Boston, I don't know, in terms of the teammates that we had. Actually, a good question, because one of the questions that came in, and I was thinking that I might know the answer, but you might change it. But in terms of the best player that you've ever played with, who would you say?
Well, I Marinette Pichon,
Uh,
when I played for um, well, was it New Jersey? Was it Boston? Was it Boston? She didn't play with
no,
you, did
no,
she?
it was
No,
either New Jersey or Philly, the Philadelphia Charge.
that's right. Yeah, sorry, God, memory eludes me. Yeah, her from she was a French player. She was a striker. We were just on the same page and had a connection just on the pitch. I knew where she was at every time. I knew the angles of her runs, what she liked, how she liked the ball at her feet, in behind. Yeah, she was just a brilliant all-round player. That I really had the pleasure of playing with.
No, only because you're just talking about running. Let's quickly talk about, because we've already kept you long enough, but Dawn Scott, because I remember back then, in terms of before the game went professional, we had training programs. And so I remember with you every day being like, come on, Kelly, you were actually my best, I'd say my best training partner because you were like the best player. And I was like, right, if there's one way I can beat her is she's not going to beat me in these running sessions. And so every day we'd be out on this field. Yes, on our local field, everyone
Yeah,
tuning in because we had to go just find a piece of grass, like everyone's doing now, actually in lockdown, and
yeah.
literally like doing box to boxes, and me just being like, "You're not gonna catch me."
And I was so mad too because I was like, right, you're the fittest player on the team. I need to be close to you. And I just remember you had another gear that I was like at my max. And then you just be like, right, here you go. And you just click your fingers and you just be like that, running away from me. And I'm like, I'm trying my hardest right now and I can't even keep up. So I think we will work well together in the trading aspect because obviously, like you said, I was one of the best players in the world. So you was like, not going to let me beat you. And I was like, you're one of the fittest players. So I want to be up there with you. And if I even got close to you on the finish line at the end, I was happy. But even if I was that much away too, I was happy too. But I would never beat you.
Only because I was so determined, because I know
Yeah.
you'd never let me live it down. But in terms of Dawn coming back to the England team, what do you think she's going to do?
Um, well, we all love Dawn from our experience with her in the England setup before. And obviously, I think she's obviously gone away and worked with the US national team for however many years, 10 years, is it? Or
Yeah.
probably longer.
Now
And
won
won,
Olympics, World
yeah,
Cups.
Olympics, World Cups, and worked with elite players with the mentality that they have. She's got such a vast amount of knowledge. Obviously, not just a fitness aspect that she's learned and nurtured and developed, but the mentality side of the players that she's tapped into. Abby Wambach, Megan Rapinoe, Carly Lloyd. She's worked with those top players, and she can share their mentality side of things to bring back to the England setup, because I think that's what we struggle with, is mentally dealing with staying in games and digging deep when it matters, and not making mistakes when it matters too, and keeping going right until the 95th minute, which has been a problem for us in the past.
I think her is like a huge sign-in for the England team. Let me get through some of these questions before we let you go. Leah's on the line. I've seen her pop up. Leah sent in a question, but you've already answered it. She's like, best player you've ever played with. So we'll change it. Played against.
You guys are all too young to understand this, because Doris Fitchin was a tough player. And actually, you know what? Probably she was a German player, but probably one of the players that you guys will probably know is Christine Rampone, the captain for USA. She wasn't the most technical, gifted player, but she was physically fit and strong and fast, and she knew how to use her arms and her body, and she was a beast. You couldn't get past her.
Like how you said about changing into another gear, that is one player who you would see go into another gear.
Yep. And just mentally, she was very, very strong, and she'd just look you in the eye and be like, "You're not beating me." Yeah. You're like, "Okay, all right, I'll keep trying." But yeah, I think I'd have to say her, that a current-ish player. She's retired now, but yeah, definitely her.
Okay.
Hi, Leah, by the way.
I see her pop up on there. So this one's from October 74 USA. Now that you've retired, what do you miss the most about playing? I suppose you kind of said that earlier.
Yeah, the day-to-day life of football, the dressing room, banter, on the coach, going to games, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Scoring goals.
Scoring goals. You're going to score a goal in Soccer Aid. We'll see it again. So, Wendy Chappell, would you consider being England manager?
Never say never. I'm not qualified to be right now. I was on my A license up until I got pregnant, and then I had to kind of pull away from that a little bit because it got too much for me. Not to say that I won't get my A license again, but I think you have to have the right qualifications, and then you have to get experience coaching. I've not got any experience coaching at the elite level. I've coached at the Arsenal Academy, at the youth level, but I don't think I'm ready or anywhere near ready to coach the England senior side. But you never know, one day, once the kids are in school and I've got a little bit more time on my hands, that could happen.
I want more time on my hands again. Okay, this one is Ashley Mann fan page. How can I get into women's professional football?
Where are you? Is she in England?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
I guess playing for your local club side, and then moving up to any kind of division that's near you and getting spotted by FAWSL side, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's the difference.
They have scouts out there now, don't they? And
yeah. And like you can go onto like websites and find your local teams, where I suppose when we started there was none of that.
No, yeah. There's a lot of girls teams now for young kids to play on, and different leagues and clubs and formats. It's, I was the only girl playing on a boys team. You were the only girl. Rachel Yankee we've all got similar stories because of that era, but now it's just great to see so many young girl sides in this country.
Okay.
Lots of girls want to play.
Loads, and it's good, I suppose. The last one, I wanted to read out was Haran Mohammed _24. Okay, so at what stage in your career would you say was your absolute best?
I'd say the peak of my career was 25, 26. I just felt untouchable. And it's not big-headed to say that. I just felt like the fittest, the most focused, and just physically at the races all the time, every game. My body was in the best peak position, condition that it could be. So I'd say 25, 26, 27, those years for me were the best.
Okay. Kelly, thank you very much for joining us on Story
All
Talk.
right.
I've absolutely loved reminiscing. I could have done so many more stories, I swear. We'll have to do like a part 2.
Definitely. I can't believe you pulled up the hair pulling situation. There was actually a caricature, a cartoon made up in a Swedish newspaper of me pulling the girl's hair that someone sent me. Yeah, they made a joke of it in the Swedish paper. I was like mortified because I'm like, you know me, I'm quite shy off the pitch. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. So I still feel really bad about that to this day.
The 2 sides, the footballer on the pitch, the fiery side, and the
Exactly. Jekyll and Hyde.
Kel, stay safe. Say hi
All right.
to the family.
Will do. Say hello to your mum and sorry for knocking her off. I'll see you guys soon.
See you later.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Love you guys.
They're all sending the comments through.
Bye.
See you, Kel.
Bye.